Hi! This is a video on how I drew Trinidad's national bird in pixel art. Let's go! This project was done for the Group Picture 2024 Animal Atlas, a challenge from the Pixel Joint site/group. The animal I chose for this project is called the scarlet ibis, which is a very bright red, pink in this case, bird that you see a lot in Trinidad and Tobago. I know I tend to mention Trinidad kinda often. I'm not gonna stop. There's about 73 animals as of me recording this. Mind you, I'm also late on making this video, so there's probably way more now. And I put animals in quotations because one of them technically is an animal. Technically. I went through a couple different pose ideas when I started this because I wanted to make it a little more interesting. I shifted between some neutral poses where its head could have been looking in any direction to more dynamic poses where it could have been either flying or just flapping its wings. I'd gotten an okay feeling about the flying pose I was scribbling and was iterating on its shape before I realized I was doing something very wrong. Would have probably continued with the flying path if I hadn't gone back to look to the challenge page. Right there, in the rules, it says they wanted it in a relaxed pose. This is why you read all the information before you start on something. Thankfully, I hadn't gotten too far into it already, so it was a very easy fix. Because of that, I ended up scrapping my flying pose, and to be completely honest, I didn't actually really like that flying pose either, so this worked out a lot. And I alternated between a couple different things before I eventually came to the final pose. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanted to throw a bunch of different colored pixels at the screen and see what sticks, but I and everyone else was given the Comfy 52 palette, which is the color palette you see me using on the screen on the left. I will put a link to it in the description. It is from the site Lowspec. Including the white outlines that were around the body, I used about 18 colors from it. 90% of it were some variant of red and brown, and honestly, pink. Lots of pink in there too. Oh, and just to add, the reason I chose this bird is because, well, I'm a Trini. That's it. Also, it's a very pretty bird, and since it's our national bird, I had to give Scarlet a little screen time. Little fun fact, it actually gets its color from all the things it eats, like shrimp, crab, crustaceans, etc, etc, etc. The challenge was to draw them with a more realistic aesthetic, and I felt like challenging myself to see how well I could do it. As you can see, I threw a bunch of pixels into the wind trying to render this little guy out. All for the sake of potential realism. Potential. Yeah. Trying out a couple different ideas, I tried to block out where the shadows would be or the contours of the body so I would have a better idea of what I was working with. Throwing around a bunch of browns and reds for the more shadowy areas and some light pinks for the more bright areas. After that, it came down to trial and error. I did make an effort to limit my palette for this, especially since there was only so many reds that can be used. Quote unquote red. I opted to use a dark blue for the beak, as well as a few light blues and grays for the highlights to give it a more contrasted tone with the very pink, very red, very warm-toned body of this bird. Not gonna lie, I wasn't really sure how it would turn out when I started because the final product in most of my art tends to be a mystery to me until it's finished. Another reason why this challenge appealed to me is because it was that realistic or very defined looking pixel art is actually my favorite style. Insert golden sun reference. In all seriousness, I like when pixel art has 1,000 different pixels in it, especially when it has like a pixel 3D aesthetic to it. It's just my favorite thing. Maybe more could have been done to make it more realistic, but all in all, I do love it. I like Scarlet a lot, no complaints, and I'm really happy about the final product. And I hope you guys like Scarlet also. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe and have a great day. Take care!